Now, let's jump right in. Our study today takes us back to that apocalyptic book of Daniel, a book with special significance for the end times. Daniel was written in the 6th century BC, long before the events described in this prophecy. In chapter 8, Daniel receives a prophetic vision in which a goat charges towards a ram, collides with it, and overpowers it. It is later revealed that this ram represents the kingdom of Medo-Persia, while the goat embodies Greece, the nation that would conquer Medo-Persia. This event is then followed by the rise of a little horn power, which we will cover in a future video. This dreaded little horn would gain great influence, persecute God's people, and defile God's sanctuary. So how long would this continue? How long would God's people and his sanctuary be trampled on? The answer is given by the angel Gabriel in Daniel 8:14. And he said unto me, unto 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed. This cleansing of the sanctuary is related to an event that took place in the sanctuary service, a system that God gave to his people to help them understand his plan of salvation. Throughout the year, the people confessed their sins, and these sins were symbolically transferred into the sanctuary through the blood shed by lambs, which represented the coming Messiah. Once per year on the Day of Atonement, also known as the Day of Judgment, the high priest would enter into the most holy place of the sanctuary, bringing the blood of the Lord's goat and interceding between God and the people. This yearly service would symbolically cleanse the earthly sanctuary from all the sins which had been accumulating throughout the year. We will discuss more of this event and its significance in a future video. However, this cleansing of the sanctuary described in Daniel 8:14 could not be referring to the earthly sanctuary, for the earthly sanctuary was to be cleansed once per year, and this passage in Daniel is describing a cleansing that would happen many years in the future. In fact, Daniel 8 reveals to us that this cleansing of the sanctuary, or Judgment Day, would take place during the end times. For at the time of the end shall be the vision. So, what sanctuary could it be referring to? The book of Hebrews speaks of another sanctuary. In fact, it speaks of God's true sanctuary, which is located in heaven itself. Hebrews 8:2 refers to it as the sanctuary and true tabernacle which the Lord pitched and not man. So, we can see that Daniel 8:14 refers to a cleansing of the heavenly sanctuary, a judgment day, which would take place in the end times. However, Gabriel does not yet explain the precise timing of the vision, when it would begin and when it would end. Because of this confusion over the timing of the vision, chapter 8 ends with Daniel fainting and getting sick, saying, I was astonished at the vision, but none understood it. Daniel 9 is a direct continuation of Daniel 8. As Daniel is pouring out his heart to God in prayer, the same angel Gabriel returns to help him to further understand the vision, specifically the missing time element of the vision. Daniel states, Yea, while I was seen in the vision at the beginning, being caused to fly swiftly, touched me about the time of the evening oblation. In Daniel 9:23, Gabriel states that he has come to help Daniel to understand this mysterious vision. At the beginning of thy supplications, the commandment came forth, and I am come to show thee, for thou art greatly beloved. Therefore understand the matter, and consider the vision. Now, Gabriel begins to address the only part of the prophecy that Daniel was missing, the specific timing of the vision. Speaking to Daniel, he states, 70 weeks are determined upon thy people and upon thy holy city. The first 70-week section of this prophecy is determined or cut out specifically for Daniel's people, the Jews. It is part of the overall 2,300-day prophecy that was described in chapter 8. Please pay careful attention to this first 70-week period, as it describes a magnificent prophecy of the Messiah and provides the key for unlocking the larger 2,300-day prophecy. So, this prophecy would last for 70 prophetic weeks, or 490 days. It's important to note that when dealing with time in symbolic prophecies such as Daniel 9, 1 day equals a year. This principle is seen throughout Scripture, and I will provide two notable examples here. We read